Thursday's podcast, The Late Night Emails Speak Louder Than the Memo. Hello and welcome to the 10 Commandments of Leadership podcast, where we educate, equip, and empower emerging leaders with God-thought leadership, and we present current events and newsmakers in the light of best practices from the Bible. Today, I want to talk about culture, not the culture in the handbook or the employee manual, not the culture in the mission statement, not the culture that gets talked about at the leadership retreat. I want to talk about the culture that is formed quietly by signals, because people do not only hear what leaders say, they also hear, get this, when leaders send it. A late night email may sound harmless to the sender. A weekend text may feel efficient. A late night request may seem minor from the top. But to the people receiving those signals, the message may sound much louder than the content itself. It may say, for example, rest is optional, boundaries are negotiable, urgency is normal, availability is expected, and recovery is not really protected here. And that is how burnout culture grows, not only by policy, but by pattern. The same basic logic now shows up in youth culture with the late night scrolling. The American Academy of Pediatrics says screens can affect children's sleep quality and make it harder to fall asleep. And its broader digital guidance recommends avoiding screen exposure before bedtime and keeping devices out of bedrooms. So think about it. The late night email teaches adults one thing. The late night scroll teaches children another. But the deeper lesson is the same. Stay alert. Stay reachable, stay engaged, do not disconnect. And that is a dangerous kind of discipleship. It trains the nervous system toward constant readiness. It trains the mind toward interruption. It trains the soul against stillness. No wonder so many people are tired. And tired people are easier to frustrate, easier to misread, easier to rush, and easier to lose. That is why the financial side of burnout matters too. Employees are not just losing sleep culture-wise. They are losing money when overwork drives preventable turnover, disengagement, and replacement cost. Gallup says 42% of turnover is preventable, and its salary-based replacement estimates show how fast this becomes expensive. So the late night signal is not small. It may be the thing that tells your team what your real theology of work is. Do you believe people are human beings or merely output devices? Ooh. Do you believe rest is part of performance or is it a threat to performance? Do you believe boundaries are strategic or merely inconvenient? And if you are a parent, there is a similar question for you. What is teaching your child about nighttime? What is training their attention when the lights are low? Who's discipling their nervous system? Is it wisdom or is it the feed? That is why I keep coming back to this idea of the strategic pause. The strategic pause says, I will not let every impulse become an instruction. I will not let every urgency become an emergency. I will not let every notification become a command. Because leadership is not shown by how quickly you send. Sometimes it is shown by what you choose not to send. Sometimes love is shown by the boundary. Sometimes culture is healed by restraint. So yes, late night email speaks louder than the memo. And yes, the late night scroll does too. The question is whether we are listening closely enough to the message. Thanks for joining us this afternoon for the 10 Commandments of Leadership podcast. I hope you learned something, even if it was not enjoyable. And we'll see you on tomorrow.